My main goal for today is to remove the limits on comment scraping. Gonna try to keep this stream short, get that one task done, and get it shipped. For step 61. It looks like for the first Instagram comment scraper, if we remove the limit, it'll be fine. Same thing, if we just remove the comment, it should be fine. So the scratch pad looks correct. It's just going to remove the config for both of them. Right now we are only polling for 30 times every 3 seconds, which means that if we don't get all of our comments before that, we're just going to cut off scraping, which we don't want to do. We want to make sure that we're actually waiting. Infinite polling loop that continues until the scraping either succeeds or fails. No cutting off earlier. We want unlimited posts. Start comment scraping. And then we sit inside of a while loop, waiting for the polling interval every 5 seconds. We get the status, check if it's failed, check if it's succeeded. If it's failed, we return an empty array. If it's succeeded, we get the data set that was created, and then we return the correct data. Now we're going to proceed with updating the TikTok comment scraping configuration next. could be dried for do not repeat yourself between these two functions, question mark. Looking at the Instagram results, I saw 600 comments for 12 posts, which is about 50 comments per post, which is way lower than expected because T Grizzly's posts have 9,000 comments on him getting married, 1,000 on 1,000, like 1,000 per. So 600 doesn't even meet the scraping needs of one. So I'm going to try this again where I've set a results limit to 10,000. And let's see if this gets 10,000. Twitter just finished. Scraper's still running for Instagram comments, which is a green flag. I expect it to run for a while because we're scraping tens of thousands of comments. My guess is this is what we need to do. So what I might do is turn this up one more to 100K comments. 100,000 comments is a lot. 10,000 comments is already a lot. Let's run these through our numbers. For Instagram comments, how much are we paying? We pay $2.30 per 1,000 results. So if we're getting 10,000 comments, that's already $20 that we're spending. If we jack it up to 100K, that's $200 we're spending if we have 100,000 comments to scrape. So for now, I'm going to keep it at 10K. That maximizes the amount that we spend per post at $23. So it's $23 max to scrape one single post. Still scraping. We can look at this inside of runs. Looks like it already has 10K results. So we've already spent that $23. Looks like it is succeeding so far. Before the change, we were getting 100 per post, which maxed us out at 1,200. So we spent $2. We've now removed those limits. We're getting 10K, $23. At a minimum, it's still going up. It looks like we're still finding more pages to scrape. Before we took 51 seconds. Now it's taking us 5 minutes. We can see who all the commenters are, what the post is that they're commenting on, what it is that they're commenting. I wonder if API has webhooks. Looks like right now we're polling for success and failure, but we could get a webhook. What that would allow us to do is not sit here and run this computation, but instead we just kick off the build. It does the actor run, sends us a webhook when it finishes. When it finishes, we can make this much more stateless, potentially move this over to something like Next.js and avoid having to self-host it. Just a seed. I'll write down Apify webhooks just to make sure I note it. GM Mike, we got our first person tuning in for the week. Mike, I'm going to keep you up as a way of saying thank you for showing up on this Monday morning and giving us some live support. We've already spent $28 scraping one T Grizzly profile. $12,000 comments have been scraped so far. Surprised T Grizzly has so many. 9,000 plus 1,000 is 10K, 11K. We'll round this up to 12K, 13K, 14K, 15, 15 and a half. 15 and a half and 9 is 24K for the first 9 posts. We still have another 24K. 25K we'll round up. Keep it at 25K, both of those come together. 25 and 4, right around 30K. So there's right around 30, if we're scraping the latest 12 posts, there's right around 30K comments. And so far we scraped 13K. So there's potential, we're potentially only halfway done. We potentially still have another 15,000 comments to scrape, which means a total of whatever number I just said. I believe it's 30K. 30 times $2.30, that's $60. So potentially we just passed halfway and we're going to get up to about $60 in spending on scraping Instagram comments. Makes me wonder, how can we make it so that we don't duplicate the scraping of existing comments? Extract newest comments first. So what we include replies, paying users only. So we could include replies, which we're not doing right now. Wow, that's something as well. We'll extract replies for each comment. Note that each reply comment will be displayed as a separate result. So this would be nested comments. And what we could be doing is, if we already have the post and we already have comments for the post, if we already have a number like over 1,000 comments, instead of scraping all the comments, we only do the latest and then we limit it. There's some things that we can start to do to try to make. So Apify webhooks is one thing I want to think on. Another is duplicate. I don't know how to phrase, like duplicates is in a post that we've already scraped. I'm going to call it duplicate. Newest comments. Still going 710 seconds. It's been running 11 minutes. Scraped 15,000 comments. This one single run has scraped more than the entire page combined. Potentially more than the last 200. Let's see. This definitely changes it now that we're scraping every comment. But I guess as long as we're passing this on to our customers and that they're paying what we're spending, it doesn't matter. We've scraped 1,000 pages, 16K results. I'm expecting 30. Do I move on? I haven't been able to verify TikTok. That's one. Let's try to push this and keep, let's try wrapping this up because I think it's going to be I think we're only halfway through and I don't want to sit here for another 15 minutes waiting. So I expect another 10K comments rolling in. I'm not going to wait for this to finish. Yeah, I'm not gonna. I've got other coding to do, and I can't just sit here waiting for another 10 minutes. Looks like we're doing about 1,000 comments per minute. So we've got 21K results, and it's been 21 minutes. I would like to wait, but there's other code to do, and it's a Monday. So I think I'm going to ship this and move on. I'm going to ship it. Let's ship it. Still going. Slowing down. Almost 22K. Okay, I will wait. I'm just going to start setting up for my next bit of work. So I think I'm going to finish up for Recoup today. This was a pretty big change to add the comments in, to add unlimited comments in. So I think I'm just going to leave that there. Let me tell Sid to test. All right, so now we'll be jumping over to CoopRex. Let me get this cleaned up a little bit. I think I want a new ticket called MCP here in Recoup. Scrape followers, I'm getting rid of that. We decided that that is not worth our time. The only one that's mine is fixed T Grizzly scraping, and then Coinbase is also usually me. And I'll add a new one called Vercel AI SDK MCP tools plus reasoning. I'll move this below T Grizzly. Scraping's first, so if there's scraping issues, we want that to be first. And now any of these, Command K, parent, sub-issue of Vercel AI SDK, Command K, parent, sub-issue of Vercel AI SDK. All right. Okay, so now we've defined our tasks a little bit better. Let's jump over to KubeRex with OW Kube Records, and now we'll start to get that all set up over here. Still scraping. Still scraping. Oh. Down over here, can I stop the live stream? And no, we're still scraping. Okay, I'm gonna try to keep this live stream going until, oh, it looks like it finished. Filtered valid comments. Let's see if it's able to keep going now. So this time we scraped 23,000 comments across 12 posts, average of about 2,000 comments per post. 23,000 comments, 20,000 fans. Let me send that info over to Sid. So we got 23,000 comments for 20,000 unique fans. Total cost for the comments was $53. And after that, we then scrape all 20,000 of those profiles to get all of the missing data. Luckily, we've already saved those comments. And now we're amplifying those profiles with missing profile data. We're enhancing the social records for all 20,000 profiles. So now we're going to go and scrape all those profiles. I wonder how long that's going to take. Let's go back to all our actors and check out that actor now. I believe the Instagram profile scraper is what we're running. So far, we have spent $1.23 scraping 545 profiles out of 20,000 profiles. So, okay, Google. Oh, that's weird. Why did the results go down? We had 500 a second ago, and now we've gone down to 272. The price also went down to 62 cents. So if it took 6 minutes to scrape 545 profiles, how long would it take to scrape 272? Let's ask chat real quick. If it took 7 minutes to scrape 545, 7 minutes, 545, we're doing 20K. Minutes to scrape 545 profiles. How long will it take to scrape 20,000 of them? It's going to take like hours, I believe. It's going to take a while. It might be good to, let me add this to the notes. It might be good to check all 20,000 of these profiles first. Yeah, I'll make the note, but so duplicates for both newest comments and existing profiles. Do we need to re-scrape someone if we've already scraped their profile? Crazy how long this is taking. I asked a simple question. This is simple math. I could figure it out on my own. 7 minutes, 545, 20K, 20. Okay, Google, what's 20,000 divided by 545? About 36. So, okay, Google, what's 36 times 7? It's gonna be like 200. Yeah, 252. So that's 3 hours, 252 minutes. So that's telling me it's going to be taking 3 hours for it to actually finish this scrape. So far taken 3 minutes. Is that correct? That tells me that it's scraping faster. We've gotten to 1,000 in 5 minutes. So it seems like it's actually scraping faster than it has in the past. It's taken less time to scrape more comments. We're already 2 out of 20K. We're already 1/10. We're 10% of the way there. 10% in 5 minutes means that we can multiply 5 by 10 to get 50. So it should take about 50 minutes, 1/5 of what I had originally thought. So instead of whatever that was, 5 hours, it's actually only going to take 1 hour, but it's still going to take 1 hour to scrape it all. So it already took us 30-minute, 50. I don't even remember how long it just took us to scrape all those comments. 30. It's going to take us even longer to scrape all the profiles. 50. So these scrapes are going to be getting long. I don't want to wait. I would like to keep going. It seems like it's all working. And I could be testing this in the cloud so that I'm not having to slow down my local machine. And I'm thinking that that might be the best move. However, I'm uncomfortable stopping this and then having to start from scratch and spending another $60 on the comments plus whatever we're about to spend on the profiles. It looks like we spent $50 on the comments scraping, and now we're going to spend another $50 scraping all the profiles. If we've scraped 2,000 so far and we've spent $6, we need to scrape 20,000 multiplied by about 10. It's going to be about $60 again. So to scrape the profile plus the comments just for Instagram, it's costing us about $120. So just for reference on what the costs are to do the scraping, that's our current cost structure. The question is, do I leave this go or do I stop it and move on to the next task? I'm leaning towards stop it and move on to the next task, and I'll run this remote so that way I'm not blocked. So I'm going to stop. Let's just stop it. Let's go up to Recoup and let's start it up here. So first, let me activate T-Grizzly. Let's check out what we've got for fans now. I would expect this list to already be massive. I would expect this list to already be massive because it should have, no, we don't link it until we get to segment generation. So because I stopped it at the point it did, this page will most likely not be updated. I think we're only checking fan segments here. Segment fans, so a fan that has been grouped into a segment. I love the Hello Kitty with the middle finger up. Here's all the profiles that we've scraped of fans of T-Grizzly, starting with the most followers first, which it looks like Horse the One is the biggest follower, followed by Golden Child, Mariah the Scientist, Tommy Slip, Moneybag Greg, Game the One, Dutch Dollars, Menace Mania, Oh My God, Big J, Always Been to One, let's see how many unmatched profiles we still have here. I'm hoping this list is short. It still looks like there's a ton of profiles that we don't have data for. But we also have a ton of profiles that we do have data for. Is it thousands? I don't think we're at thousands yet. This is probably still hundreds. Is it still loading though? I don't think it's still loading. I think we've loaded all the fans here. All right, so let's go and scrape again and see if it gets fixed next time. It's going to take hours and it's going to cost a lot of money, but we're going to do it. T-Grizzly, we'll add a space. One of these should have an underscore, yeah? TikTok should have an underscore. The rest of them are just T-Grizzly. Instagram's T-Grizzly, X is T-Grizzly. Yep, let's start it. Where's Instagram? Why isn't Instagram? Oh, there's Instagram. Cool. Took a couple seconds. All right, so now I've got to go on off of my computer. So let's wrap this up and swap over to my next stream. What we did in this video is we went from only scraping 100 comments per post. We have now updated Recoup so that we're scraping 10,000 comments per post. So most of you that are listening to this, you're not getting 10,000 comments on your post. So for you, it doesn't really matter. We're already going to be scraping every single comment that you get. But if you're a top tier social creator and you're getting tens of thousands of comments, we will now scrape up to 10,000 comments on your posts. T Grizzly, the biggest post that we saw, have not had 10K. So I have yet to see a post that has more than 10,000. Some of the impacts of making that change include that we now will have a much richer data set for you to base our chat on. One of the downsides of this is that it costs way more. We've gone from spending less than $1 to scrape posts to now for bigger artists, we're spending tens of dollars per post per artist. So the price is going up to scrape all that information explicitly on our computation, which is going to mean that for the artists that are using these resources, we'll need to figure out how to bake that into our cost structure. So if you've stuck around this long, thank you for tuning in. This has been a Monday Build. I'll be back in a couple minutes with CoopRec. So before I sign out, if you made it this far, leave us a like, leave us a subscribe, leave me a comment down below. Let me know how you're doing today. And if you're still wanting to tune in, I'll be right back on in a couple minutes, building out some new features on CoopRec, an on-chain record label built on Base. So thank you for tuning in.